someone like Deonna Purrazzo, who is a former Ring of Honor Women's Champion, a multi-time Knockouts champion in TNA, like, she's proven her ability. Absolutely proven. Like, she doesn't have to do any auditions here. She is as good as she says she is and she thinks she is.
That booty shaking on the west, who that?
Now, if I told you Deonna Purrazzo has wrestled 3 matches on AEW TV this year, would you believe me? You better believe me, because I'm not lying. 3 matches. If you want to add a couple, then she had 2 matches on Ring of Honor as well. 3 matches on AEW TV, 2 were Collision, 1 was Dynamite, and then she's had 2 Ring of Honor matches this year. This woman has an absolute right to feel frustrated. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. We've all seen the tweet where a member of the AEW fan base asked her, am I going to see you on Dynamite tonight? And she said, maybe in picture. She has every right to have a cheeky response like that and be frustrated, because Deonna Purrazzo was brought in as big business, as a big player in the women's division. Now, if this was Deonna Purrazzo brought in 2019 or 2020 or something like that, and things have evolved and the roster has almost flipped on its head since then, I would say, yeah, you know what, she maybe didn't make quite the impact in that time, hence why she's not of use now, if they deem her not of use, right? But Deonna Purrazzo signed for AEW in January 2024? She's been working for this company for 18 months now or so, right? And she has been given basically nothing. Now, I haven't forgotten, she had a title picture straight out the gate with Toni Storm. They told a little story there. Didn't work out for Deonna Purrazzo. She didn't win the belt, and that was it. Reached the top of the mountain, and the descent began. And I remember on the way down, she wrestled the likes of Thunder Rosa and stuff. Pretty quickly found herself on Ring of Honor. And it just hasn't worked out for her since then. I'm so sorry, Deonna Purrazzo, it hasn't. And this is someone that earlier on in her career, she left NXT for similar reasoning, thinking that I am the best here. And at that time, in terms of development and other women in that NXT division, for sure she was one of the best. But she wasn't given the opportunities, and she decided to move on, and she went to TNA Impact at the time, and she made a really strong name for herself, became a multi-time Knockouts champion and stuff like that, involved in some really good stuff. And at that time, the time she signed for AEW, people were saying this is one of the greatest women's wrestlers on the planet right now. Some share that same sentiment now, despite only seeing her 5 times this year. Like, people still hold the sentiment that Deonna Purrazzo is one of the best. However, can that be proven in 5 outings? Maybe some will argue it. Listen, at the end of the day, we know her talent. And, I feel like the frustration is really valid. Is really valid in a case like this, because especially when we're building to a massive show right now in All In, Deonna Purrazzo may not be in the title picture at such an event, but boy oh boy, she should be in like a TBS title match, or at least in like a blood feud with another woman on the roster. Like, Deonna Purrazzo should be on your card for the biggest show you've put on in North America. She's that good. She is really that good. And how this isn't a priority for them to kind of, work with the rest of the division. I think I said this in a video last week or so. They are mortgaging this division right now on Mercedes and Toni Storm. And it will pay off. It will pay off because those two are excellent and they're great names, and they just get it. They're great linchpins for a women's division. But we've got so much more in that women's division. And, names like Statlander, Nightingale, a Megan Bain who's recently come in and seen a similar fate of, being pushed mega quick, and now she's on the pre-show doing tag matches against Harley Cameron and stuff. Like, it doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna lie. The penny might have dropped for Deonna Purrazzo when she lost to Harley Cameron maybe a month ago on Dynamite. And Harley Cameron is great entertainment, and you will always catch me saying that, it's not just wrestling, it's the whole package. And when Deonna Purrazzo is losing to someone of Harley Cameron's experience level, let's say that, you're gonna have a bee in your bonnet. You're gonna be angry. Like, she has had limited TV exposure since she joined. Even after, having her championship match with Toni Storm, it's been very limited in terms of seeing her on Dynamite and Collision. There's been a lack of creative direction. She went away with Taya Valkyrie and they formed the Vendetta. And if you believe reports, there was supposed to be a lot more put into the Vendetta as a group to really do something and give these ladies something to do. Nothing so far. Nothing at all. They're jobbers ultimately. Taya Valkyrie is a jobber and Deonna Purrazzo watches her job because she probably doesn't want to have matches and lower her stock. That's why she's only had 5 matches. I have to keep coming back to this. 5 matches across AEW and Ring of Honor, 3 on AEW TV in 2025. She's super underutilized, man. She is super underutilized. Like, why haven't we even had a feud with Megan Bayne and Deonna Purrazzo? That's something, 2 top level people can do, trade a couple of wins and stuff like that. Their factions can be involved to take losses as well. What are we doing? And they're talking about maybe bringing in AEW World Tag Team Championships for the women. Whilst I think that's a good idea because they can use that alongside their other partners in Japan and Mexico and whatever, you can't even book these women alone. Like, you're just going to throw, just like WWE did, you're just going to throw another belt into the division just to say, hey, we're championing this, we're doing this. But do you really care? Do you really care is the question. And I don't know, because someone like Deonna Purrazzo, who is a former Ring of Honor Women's Champion, a multi-time Knockouts champion in TNA, like, she's proven her ability. Absolutely proven. Like, she doesn't have to do any auditions here. She is as good as she says she is and she thinks she is. Now, I think we have to look at it from another point of view. Maybe character-wise is her flaw and that's what they need to work on. Because yes, she's a technician and stuff like that, but does she get the people going? And I think we're coming to a time in wrestling, even where AEW is where the best wrestle, the top level, high level stuff in the women's division, look at Toni Storm. In the men's division, look at Hangman Adam Page. Wrestling is it's the meat, it's the steak in the middle of the meal, but you still got to dress it up with a dessert and a starter and everything else around it. The story, like Deonna Purrazzo, this is one thing I can hold my hand up and say, like, I don't know how well of a character she is. I don't know how well of a character she can be, and that's somewhere she has to look into herself and look to develop, because for sure that's probably why she didn't get much of an opportunity in NXT, and that might be what's hindering her getting more opportunities in AEW. But for sure, someone like Deonna Purrazzo, and not just Deonna Purrazzo, I've said this, Deonna Purrazzo, Athena, Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Megan Bayne, these are top names. Jamie Hayter, there's probably more, and they should all be getting considerable amount of TV time on the 4 hours of AEW programming that you have every week. They definitely should be. She has a right to be frustrated. She probably needs to look into herself and see where she can develop and offer the marketplace more within her character, within herself. But I'm gonna come back to it one more time. 3 matches all year. That is diabolical.